Hi everybody, it's Natalie from Not Christmas Autism Girl. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a follow-up video on service dogs. I'm going to be more specific and everything related to service dogs. This is a picture of my service dog, Tommy. 3 types of service dogs. We have the therapy dog, which is a teacher owned by a teacher or a therapist and used during lessons to facilitate learning. And these are just for people with autism, of course. And the companion dog that lives with the family and spends most of its day interacting with the individual with autism. It consists of social, emotional, behavior, and sensory trials in the child. Therapy and service dogs must have basic obedience training plus training for public access. Companion dogs also focus on and specifically on the needs of the child. The third service dog is the safety dog. This is where they will be tethered to the child and that will keep the child safe. That will keep them from wandering off. So those are the 3 types of autism service dogs. What autism service dogs do. So first of all, these are some sources you can look up. But autism service dogs mostly help with sensory issues, with anxiety, they help with making you feel safe, and they do a variety of things depending on the person. So emotional and social issues, and they can help with safety, anchoring, so that they can be safe and stable, emotional and social issues. So there are lots of different things that autism child service do. How my service dog helps me. So Tommy is my companion. He falls under the category of companion dog. He is trained for public access and he is trained for basic obedience and helps me with anxiety, sensory issues, and he alerts me and other people when I'm anxious or overwhelmed. And sometimes he'll bark to alert, which we'll get into that, what problems that creates for me. But yeah. He also helps me with feeling safe. He's a companion. He helps me feel safe and reduces my anxiety by coming alongside me. He helps be an icebreaker, makes me stand out more. He protects me, takes care of me. Lots of things he does for me. Your rights as a service dog owner. So for ADA policy states that everywhere a person with a disability goes, the service dog is allowed to go. If you have a no animal policy, those do not apply to service dogs. And especially for allergies. You cannot be asked to remove the service dog unless control or the dog is on. Even if the health code policy states, you have to be able to allow them. And additionally, you can only ask 2 questions. What if the dog is a service dog animal, and what task the dog is performing. You are not allowed to ask for documentation about the personal disability, require medical documentation, or training documentation for the dog, or ask if the dog demonstrates disability to work. I find this on ADA policies website. So that is a big problem for people. Into the discrimination issues of service dogs. So at this one doctor's office I went to, they claimed that because of allergies, I even had proof that he was a service dog, they would not allow me to sit in. I reported them to the ADA. It did not go through, but I just had to use the place despite this. It makes me upset the way they acted, but whatever. The other problem is that one store asked me to carry my dog because of kids, which they can't do that because service dogs do not belong in the cart, in your arms. They're supposed to be on the floor. That's a big no-no too. And then another no-no is when I went to a place, and according to its policy, barking once is not considered out of control. And my dog barked once. I was kicked out of this restaurant, treated very poorly, and asked to leave. I was very upset about this, and I've not gone to that restaurant since. I'm not going to say which restaurant it is, but yeah, I've not gone to the restaurant. The restaurant will not give my money. Even if they still do well in business, they're not getting my business based on how they treated me. And another big issue is that people still try to ask you to provide proof. They still don't understand that health code does not apply to service dogs. Lots of issues there. So in conclusion, service dogs are very helpful for people with autism. They create very well, they keep you safe, they help you with various issues and needs. But the main issue is that there's a lot of discrimination and issues going on in the world today that doesn't understand ADA policy. So, that wraps it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe to all the fun stuff. See you next time. Bye.